Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. As you can see, we're still on our Freckles. Now, full disclosure, it's been a couple days since I posted it, and the first set of Freckles, it faded after washing. Well, not after washing, but after a couple days. And so last night, I still had some, but last night I went in and I put on a fresh batch. So, we're ready to rock today. So I started off, I've already washed my skin today. I've used that Kylie face wash and just about ready to prep again with the witch hazel just to tone the skin. And we're going to roll right on into it. So today's look, I really wanted to go with something, fairly subtle, fairly easy to do. Not for anything, but I saw a TikTok video with a makeup look that I really like that I want to try. And then also for the sake of time, because I was a lazy bones today and I had stayed in bed well past when I was supposed to. Usually, well, I was up late, but usually I'm up, 4:30, 4:45, and this morning I said, nope, nope, 5:45, 6 o'clock it is, and so here we are. Let me get this hair kind of in a pony so it's out of the way. And as you can see, I still have my twists in. I may do a video this evening or afternoon with the takedown and a quick styling. But let's work on the face first, shall we? Okay, so first things first, we already know aloe. We're going to start that base of moisture with the aloe. If I can get some to come out. There we go. Too much as usual. It's cool. It's fine. Nice little dollop. I just, apply with my fingertips. Let's see, can we? Yep. Good to go. Now that they're on there, they stayed through the face wash. I didn't do like a rigorous scrub, obviously, because I didn't want to disrupt what I had. But you can moisturize. I mean, you want to make sure that where you're laying your makeup gets a good amount of moisture. Because there are some properties, in certain makeups that can be, good for your skin, but you have to lay the foundation. And as usual, I'm letting some get into my hairline because it's fine. It's good for that. So, I also, like I said, I like to get my ears because I get dried out all over. Get my neck. And then what's left over? Arms and elbows, baby. Now that's the first layer. And the second layer today, we're going to go in with my Murad Environmental Shield. Now, it does have vitamin C in it, but the biggest thing, and I hope that you guys are doing this too, is making sure that whatever moisturizer you have has SPF in it. That is super important. You always want to protect your skin, and especially now because global warming is a thing. Those UV rays, you want to make sure that your skin is protected from. So I'm going to get these areas first, and then when I get to my cheeks and my nosy, I'm going to dab that on because, again, I don't want to really disrupt what we've got going on here. So I took a little bit. Gonna rub most of that down. Okay. You always want to be gentle around your eye area too anyway, but Okay. We're cooking with oil now, folks. Let me get some in my eyebrows because, again, I get dry. There we go. Okay. Alrighty. So let's get a little bit of moisture on the lips. So as we go through, we'll be good to go. All right. So starting off with the brows, probably one of my most favorite parts of the routine. I don't know, there's something about a solid brow that makes me happy. Very happy. I'm gonna get a couple of my products here and I will tell you as we're going what we've got going on. I'm missing a pencil. There she is. Okay. Great. I think that does it. Okay, so we're going to start off with the eyebrow primer. Again, this is by Benefit, and it's Brow Volume 1 Conditioning Primer. Okay. So they do have the squeegee here to use, but I will take that, apply it right to my brow, just like that, and take the spoolie, and as I'm combing it up, I'm just letting the brush rotate. I'm rotating it so it really gets those hairs in check. Okay, can you see that? Can you see that they need a trim? I can. But that's okay. All right, and to the next one. Get a little more for the end. Okay. Take that spoolie and brush. Brush up, brush up, brush up. Anybody know where that's from? If you do, put it in the comments. There we go. Ooh, we're a little unruly, girlfriend, but that's all right. We make it happen anyway. Okay. That is done. Now we're going to take those points on our forehead to kind of sculpt, and right now I'm just cleaning off the top of my brow gel, so when I go to apply it today, we're not going to have any issues. But most of the products that I have for my brow are from Anastasia. If you haven't heard of Anastasia Beverly Hills, that's pretty much how she got started. She's like brow queen, brow specialist, and I mean, she still does have that now. As I was saying in a previous video, I got a chance to sit down with a consultant. Well, it was through Anastasia Beverly Hills that I picked up a couple of those tips and pointers. And right now, if you have Facebook, if you search for Anastasia Beverly Hills, they if you're friends with me on Facebook, I also sent out shared rather the post that they had, because they're offering the same service again. Doesn't cost anything. You pick a date, you pick a time, you do a video chat, and they'll ask you to, which is really nice. If you want to, if you're okay with being like one-on-one on video, because if not, they'll just show up on video and kind of talk you through it. But you send them, if you want to, if you can send them in advance a picture of your brows. That way it gives them an idea right off the top. They can pull up the photo and say, okay, well, I see here that your brows are shaped like this. And so for you, you're going to do XYZ because I'm telling you the tools that I learned. And the golden ratio does work for everybody because it's tailored to your face specifically. But for me, where I have to, because my eyebrows are straight across, to create more of an arch, I kind of start down and go up. And that may be different. Your brows may be shaped different. You may have a prominent, arch. You may have, like me, no little, or you may have no arch. Your eyebrows may stop kind of somewhere here. Everybody's different. Everybody's different. You could have full brows and they'll teach you how to work with that. You may have really thin brows. They'll teach you how to work with that. But take advantage. It's available to you. Again, like I said, it's free. And if you are looking to purchase some of these products like I picked up, they send you a $10 off coupon for showing up. Win-win. Okay, so let's get started. So I am going to take my pencil. This is Brow Wiz in Ebony, again by Anastasia Beverly Hills. And I'm going to start marking my places. So just above the brow, right at the line of my nose, like right where my nostril ends, I'm going to, or begins rather, I should say. And now I'm going to mark the outside. So I'm going to go to the end. Got cut off there. All right. So I'm going to go, like I said, to the end. And this goes right to the end of your nostril and should meet about the corner of your eye here. And I'm going to mark right there. And then lastly, this is halfway at your nostril and across your pupil, just the center of your eye there, and mark. So this is where your brow begins, your arch is, and the end of your brow. Okay, so I'm going to start a little bit lower than the actual brow line and draw up to meet it. Okay. All right. Up to meet it. And then this part is pretty easy because it's just the underside. I'm going to bring this down to my stop point. And then in the same direction, I'm going to go just a little bit above because I need that angle. And take it all the way out to the arch point and then drop it down. Ooh, gosh. Gotta get that cleaned up. Just drop it down. Okay. And we'll get more in the cleanup as it goes along, but just so we can kind of see what this is supposed to start looking like. So it's a little rough, but like I said, it all gets cleaned up in the end. So all right, so now let's just do this other side while we're at it here. Gonna go above, mark it here to the end and mark it there, and then to the middle at the halfway point here and mark it there. Okay, so we're gonna start, and I usually like to kind of eyeball where this one is to where I'm gonna start this, and just draw up to meet the brow. Apparently we're not going to meet it today. Good Lord. Here we go. All right. Let's try that again. There we go. Up to meet the brow. and just down to the stop point. And we're gonna go just check where that is. Follow along to the arch and then drop it down. Okay. So now we look a little crazy, but that's okay. We're gonna fill it in and then get the cleanup on. So I have my handy dandy dual-ended eyebrow brush. I've got my pomade here. I'm gonna just take a little bit, not that much. Well, maybe that much. All right, I'm gonna take a little bit here and just pop it on the top here, okay? Because you don't need that much when you're applying. So now I just go in and I'm just filling in what I've drawn in, paying closer attention to the areas that are, bare, basically. The places that have the hair doesn't need it as much. Oh, I totally forgot. We're gonna have to go back a step here. Okay, but that's what it looks like filled in for the most part. My hair strokes. That's what happens when you sleep in. Here we go. Okay, so we're gonna fill this one in with a couple of hair strokes, nothing fancy. Okay. Let me get one more for good measure. All right, so let's get to the other eye. And unfortunately, when the other eye hit, I lost my audio. No. But I found some voiceover software, so here we go. We're gonna wing it. So right now I'm just going over the overall shape. Now that I've got both brows filled in, I usually go into now cleanup mode to get underneath the arch with the Anastasia Beverly Hills brow pencil. It's their base pencil, and it is basically what it sounds like. The base of something, it kind of sets the framework, sets the foundation. And the same thing goes with your brows. You can just put them on and continue on, but I really like to get a nice, clean, crisp look, and so I use that to clean up underneath. You can tell that it is really bright, which is good because it helps to highlight that area. And so once I draw the line, I usually go in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills brush number 20 and just kind of smooth that out. Smooth it down, smooth it out, smooth it down, smooth it out. And that way, I am making sure to create that framework, but not creating super harsh lines on my face. It also helps to, for later in the process, when you're kind of creating the eye look, to make sure that everything is really just nice and sharp and bright. And then I go over it one more time with my fingers to smooth everything out. And you can really, once that's done, you can see the difference, like where it's super highlighted underneath and super crisp and clean. And then same thing on the other eye. Just take the brush, blend it down, blend it out, blend it down, blend it out, not up. So that way you don't go over your work. But yeah, I just keep blending it in and blending it down as nicely as I can to kind of soften that, and then finish with my finger just to kind of go over that and create that structure. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I just know in my brows, because I do have eczema, and it does get a little bit worse in the winter. I have to watch out really carefully for the dry patches where I'm trying to blend that in. But overall, it just kind of softens, it sharpens the brow, but softly, and it creates a nice little highlight. And then the next part is to go over the top. I have a concealer pencil by Trestique in the color Toffee. And that one I use for above my brow. It's still a little bit lighter than my skin tone, but not so much. It's enough to where it will highlight the brow, but not so much that it would be, I don't know, too harsh. So I do the same thing just with as I did with the underbrow, just kind of go over that line and really, really create that sharp structure to the brow. And this one's a little bit creamier than the pencil. Obviously, it's a concealer, and not just a pencil. It's has kind of a rounded head to it, and it's a little bit of a more of a creamy formula. But I do the same thing. Take that Anastasia brush and kind of blend it out, smooth it down, blend it out, smooth it down, go over with my finger, just kind of trace that line. And you can really see now the brow structure is coming together. It really, it, just kind of creates that sharp look, but it just brightens everything. And same thing for the other brow. Smooth it down with my finger. At this point you can set the brow with spray. It looks like I went back in to do a little bit of cleanup, and that's okay. Sometimes, if you do the under eye and over eye highlight, sometimes it does blend down on accident, and that's okay. You can repeat those steps as often as you want. You can go back in with the pencil to sharpen the line. You can go back in with the concealer to clean it up again. And then the very last step for brows is to set it with the brow gel. This one is NYX Control Freak. I like that one, okay. I've got a couple that I use, but I'm not super particular. But you can see it's got a mascara-like spoolie, and it does the exact same thing that mascara does, that lift and separate. What that does for your brows, especially for those of you who, like me, use like a brow gel. I love, that nice, thick, full look, but I also like creating those hair strokes. And what that brow gel does, not only does it set your brows, but it does create those hair strokes. So it softens the look and makes it look a little bit more natural. And so, so that's pretty much my brows right there. I love a good full brow. That's my bag. I really do. All right. So now I'm just prepping for the next step, which is to get that framework for my eyeshadow. You always, always, always want to build your base, which for me is brows first, eye second, then going into the foundation. Some folks do their eyeshadow last, or right before they do the lip look. Kudos, hats off, ain't me, because I'm messy. I want to know that if my eye look kind of goes, if like the pigment is too loose and there's fallout, or, if it's too harsh and I've got to blend it down and now I've got, shadow kind of going further than what I wanted. you know, I can always clean it up with, you know, concealer and then my foundation, and boom, it's like the nothing ever was. Anyway, here I am making some sort of joke. I don't know, maybe why did the chicken cross the road? Who knows? But we're going to start kind of going in here momentarily. Oh, ouch. I hit my toe or knee or something, but the show must go on. Okay, so now we're talking about setting that eyeshadow base like we were talking about before. I use a concealer. You'll see here in a second, this is the NYX HD in the color Alabaster. It's a yellowish beige, which for me really works because it neutralizes the red in my eye. And here at the next transition, I think my voice does come back, so I'll be transitioning here to the original audio in just a moment. But right now I'm just taking my brush, blending that concealer out. And we will see from here. And I'm just continuing to smooth it down, smooth it out. And do the same for the other eye here in a moment. All right. Here we go. Okay, so we've got both eyes, and now we're going to set with a little bit of Airspun. I talked about this in a previous video. Oh no, my Airspun looks like it exploded. Okay, well, we'll just have a little bit of cleaning up to do, but anyway, Airspun is like, I don't know, maybe $6 at the Walmart. But as you can see, I'm just taking a little bit of this and kind of patting it on the lid. We're going to brush away the excess, of course, but I just want to make sure that the area that we're going to be doing is set. Yeah, I must have turned it on its side somehow, because there's like a ton. I mean, it's a lot of product anyway, which is nice, but, and you can use this for like setting all over your face. It doesn't just have to be like, oh, I need this specific to set my eyes with and this specific to set my, Oh, you know what? I almost blew it again. We, for the lash adhesive that I have, are supposed to put that on first. Anyway, let me dust that off. And now I'm going to take a larger brush and just kind of slough the rest of that off. Okay. Nice clean base. Same with this. Get the rest of that out of there. Okay. So we're going to stop here while we don't have too much going on here. And I'm going to get, there we go. This is the lash glue liner from Kiss. I'm telling you, I swear by this. Swear by it. So good. And let's pick some falsies. These, again, cheapo. These were like 12 bucks for 50 sets of lashes. I got them on Amazon. They work pretty a-okay. I know there was one in the last video was kind of giving me a little bit of grief, but overall I'm pretty satisfied. So let's see. These are our options. Some fun little wispies. These ones, I think I might actually do these ones today because they're fun. They add a lot of length, but they're kind of slim and more natural looking. These are super thick and dramatic. I'm missing a set. Well, that's quite interesting. Okay. Yeah, that's odd. Okay. Anyway, the last set that I have now are like long and thick, but you can kind of see where it's a tapered length. Those are really cool. Those are fun. But yeah, I'm curious. I'm curious. I don't know how a whole tray of lashes goes missing, but it's always something. Everything is something. Anyway, we're going to use these today. And just as I had done before, I'm going to take one up first because the instructions on the lash are, or pardon me, on the lash glue are really clear to that. Excuse me, you're supposed to have your liner on first for just a few seconds and then pop that lash right on. So that's what we're gonna do. Get cutting off. Here we go. And we're gonna get close to that line as possible, and it's okay if it gets a little jagged and ragged because we're gonna have more liner on top of that. But this is just to kind of plop these on, and we hit the center, drop the sides, and boom. I'm gonna go ahead and straighten in my mirror because I can barely see out of that phone. There we go. Okay. All right. Fairly easy. There we go. And I may need to apply a little more in the corner, but we'll see how this comes along. Okay. And now I'm going to get the other side here. Try and get as close to that lash line as possible. All right. Okay. Now let's get this other lash and ooh, come on, girl. Pop that square in the middle, down on the side. All right, let me correct over here. These are a little bit thin for my taste, but again, we will make do. Okay, so we got a little bit of lashy loose on, and now we can work on the actual look today. So, Okay, so like I said, we're gonna go in with some Juvia palettes. The first one I want to use is from the Warrior palette. Now, I am going to buff this dark brown into the crease. Now, I'm hoping it's dark enough for what I'm going for, and you'll see kind of as we go on here, but I really want to focus this solely in that crease area. So I'm going to take a really thin, this is a angled eyeshadow brush, but the bristles are thin enough for me to get what I want. All right, let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start working this gently into the crease here. So enough to where the color kind of stands out there. Make it a little bit more. And I mean, seriously, I'm showing you this now, but you'll see in a minute how like easy peasy this look is. So let's get to the other side here. This part's the tricky part, just kind of getting it to gently and fully apply. And don't worry if the line is too harsh, you know, we can always go back in and kind of buff some of that out. But I really wanted to get that color in there. All right, let's keep going. Okay, so I got the depth I'm kind of looking for on that side. Let's go back in and we're just gonna plop a little bit more color here and cover that up. And then I am going to take a nice fluffy brush and just kind of buff some of that in. Okay, so it's just kind of to hit that crease a little bit, and now I'm not carrying the color anywhere other than sweeping it back and forth over the area that we applied. Aha! You bandit. I'm gonna go ahead and get some more liner in that area here because I don't think it's gonna behave itself today. But that's all right. Let's keep going. Get this. Sweeping it back and forth. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to go about halfway with a deeper shade into that same area. Now this one I think I may pull from a different palette because the only other one I have there is like black and I want a nice chocolate. So I'm just checking some of my other palettes to see if there's the shade for me. And I've got a few, so give me give me a moment. Give me a moment. I want this. Let's see. If all else fails, I may have to pull out the big guns, which is my James Charles. Ooh, I may not. Okay, so I'm actually going to pull some ColourPop today. This was in the I Love Sarah collection. This is, I don't know if you have seen her on YouTube. Oh, I'm glitching.